Your review of the educational records for Taylor Schabusiness, did you make any conclusions about whether she had a budding personality disorder?
No, I did not. No.
Okay. Did you see in the records that she was a really disturbed teen?
Yes, that was my impression.
And did you indicate that you felt that it even went beyond that?
Yes. Which was later confirmed when we later received the Bellin inpatient records from when she was 12 and then again at 14, and was diagnosed with a thought disturbance, bipolar 1, depression, severe with psychosis by age 14.
Did you have a chance to review a colleague's evaluation, Dr. Tracy Lucetta?
Yes.
Is she a PhD?
She is a PhD.
And she reviewed or examined Taylor Schabusiness in the past, correct?
Yes.
So you had a chance to consider her report, correct?
Yes.
Did you also review Dr. Matthew Seipel's report?
Yes.
And he's a forensic psychologist from the Wisconsin Forensic Unit, correct?
Yes.
And then did you also have the opportunity to review Dr. Christina Engine's report?
Yes.
And these are reports that were conducted based off evaluations of Taylor Schabusiness, correct?
Yes.
Before I ask you about whether you agree with their opinions or not, I'm going to ask you about what is your opinion as it relates to your evaluation and assessment of Taylor Schabusiness?
My opinion is that she qualifies for the not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. My opinions are that she was not responsible because of a mental disease. She wasn't responsible for the criminal conduct because at the time of the event, she had the mental disease, and it both affected, she lacked substantial capacity to both appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct at the time the homicide occurred, but also she could not she couldn't conform. She lacked volitional control. She couldn't conform her conduct to the requirements of law. She was lacking in her ability to control herself. The volitional control both was lacking. That's my opinion.
You said that she lacked the ability to control herself?
Yes, at the time of the event.
And do you opine that she has a mental disease or a mental defect or both?
Yes.
Both?
It's unclear. I tried to get her to be evaluated. I suggested she be evaluated, as Dr. Lucetta did too, further for possible defect, mental defect, brain issues. That didn't happen, but my impression was that she has a mental disease, which is the most likely bipolar disorder.
Based on your training and experience, can chemicals exacerbate?
They can, yes.
Did you draw any conclusions on whether Taylor Schabusiness has any kind of chronic brain damage?
I couldn't, because that has to be done. For the first step is what we call neuropsychological testing by a neuropsychologist. Pretty elaborate testing. That's the process. And then if those test results are abnormal, then the next step would be a referral to a neurologist and medical doctor who would assess her and then decide whether or not there was enough information from the testing to explore the possibility of some brain defect, brain damage, maybe, yeah. So.
Okay. In your report, your opinions are on the last page, is that fair?
Yes.
And did you talk about her presentation when she presents herself? Do you have comments about that?
Yes, my comments about that are that it's a very unusual, what we call presentation. How is she looking? How does she talk? How does she interact? Everything. What's going on in her mind, whatnot. And it's really unusual. And I searched my own 32-year memory bank here, and it's exceptionally unusual presentation, how she's coming across to me, the two attorneys, other evaluators in the school.
Would you agree that she has a strange presentation?
She does.
How about her facial expressions? Can you give some commentary on that from what you've seen?
Very unusual. She's been described as smirky. Smirky. She has inappropriate, grinning, weird grinning when she's talking about the crimes. People have interpreted it to be like laughing at what she did. At times, in the jail, with evaluators, with me, at times, briefly, it's very strange. Other times looking, I can mimic it, very scowly. A lot of people interpret it superficially to be grinning. Grinning it all, but getting a kick out of everything. Not me. Based on my experience and training, that's a psychotic person right there. That's what's causing this really weird, bizarre. And I'm telling you, to me, it's off the scale. 32 years. I've seen a lot of psychotic people, bipolar, psychotic, manic, and I just haven't seen very many like this. Very exceptional, very exceptional.
Do you believe that she has a genuine mental disorder?
Yes.
Of a psychotic nature?
Yes.
What is the nature?
The best, my best opinion is the bipolar 1, with sometimes with psychosis, sometimes not. But that after we got the Bellin records from 2 inpatient admissions at age 12 and 14, or 14 and 16, let me just double check. 14 and 16, she was diagnosed at 14 with bipolar depression, severe with psychosis. So that confirmed that's I was thinking about schizophrenia, and sometimes schizophrenia and bipolar are very hard to distinguish. Sometimes not, but sometimes really hard to tell bipolar from schizophrenia. And there's a kind of a combined one called schizoaffective disorder, and that's been applied to her too. But I think based on this history we have from Bellin when she was diagnosed with bipolar, and then again at Nicolay when she was 22 years old, also bipolar, my opinion is, based on my experience and training, is bipolar 1. The more serious, there's bipolar 1, bipolar 2. But bipolar 1 can have psychosis, psychotic episodes. So that's my opinion.